Money. We all know that it could buy us amazing things, nice cars, big houses, fancy gadgets, but can it buy us happiness? That's a question that has puzzled philosophers, economists, and psychologists for centuries. Many of us long for the additional income that comes with a promotion or a better job, believing that it will finally bring us the contentment we seek. Do you feel absolutely inadequate when you compare yourselves to others who are seemingly wealthier than you? These are just a few of the painful realities that many of us constantly face when it comes to money and happiness. Think about it. How much of your mental and emotional energy is consumed by worries about simply making ends meet or planning for the future? How many days are you left feeling stressed and anxious simply because you do not have nearly enough money? Will you finally be happier after you've achieved all of your financial goals? Can money really buy happiness? And if so, how much money is enough? What exactly is the cost of happiness? Well, one popular belief was that once you hit a certain income threshold, usually around $75,000 per year, any additional wealth wouldn't significantly increase your happiness. This $75,000 number was based on a landmark study conducted in the year 2010, which analyzed data from over 450,000 Americans and concluded that emotional well-being increased with income, but only up to a certain point. Beyond this $75,000 annual income mark, the researchers found that any additional income did not lead to a significant increase in day-to-day happiness. What are your thoughts on this $75,000 number? Because I know many of us are thinking that $75,000 is not nearly enough, especially in this day and age when everything is so expensive. Do you think it was even enough in 2010 when the research was published? Well, more recent studies have challenged this notion and are now suggesting that the magic number might not be $75,000 after all. Prepare to be surprised because the number they are now suggesting is much, much higher. I want you to take a guess because I would have never guessed this high amount. How much money would it take for you to reach your pinnacle of happiness? Before I let you know what that number is, I want you to understand that this higher number is not just based on inflation, but on the simple conclusion that the relationship between income and happiness is much more complex than previously thought. One key aspect that you need to consider is the concept of hedonic adaptation. This phenomenon refers to our tendency to quickly adjust to changes in our lives, including increases in income. Think about it. You're at baseline, living comfortably within your means, and then suddenly you get a significant raise at work. Initially, the extra money might bring a sense of excitement and possibility. You start envisioning all the ways you could upgrade your lifestyle, perhaps a nicer car, a bigger house, or more lavish vacations. Unfortunately, many of these experiences tend to cost a small fortune. But as time goes on, you begin to notice something. Despite these upgrades, your level of happiness hasn't increased in proportion to your increased income. This is where hedonic adaptation comes into play. Our brains have a remarkable ability to adapt to changes in our circumstances, both positive and negative. What once felt like luxury soon becomes the new norm, and we find ourselves craving even more to recapture that initial fulfillment. It's a never-ending cycle of desire and discontentment, fueled by our insatiable appetite for more. But here's the catch. Chasing after these material desires often leads us further and further away from true happiness. We become trapped in a perpetual state of striving, always reaching for the next goal, but never quite finding satisfaction. And in our relentless pursuit of wealth and status, we risk sacrificing the very things that bring us genuine joy and fulfillment. our relationships, our health, and our sense of purpose. And that's exactly why you need to download my free guide, En Route to Wellness, because I'll walk you through the 6 steps to quickly and easily create a healthier lifestyle. I'll leave a link in the description. Hedonic adaptation is a fascinating psychological phenomenon that profoundly influences our perception of goals and achievements. You should also check out this video where I dive deeper into the concept of hedonic adaptation and its profound impact on our pursuit of success and fulfillment. Plus, there are always individual differences in how money influences our happiness. For instance, how might someone with a more frugal mindset differ in their perception of money's influence on happiness compared to someone with a more materialistic outlook? Some of us may simply derive more satisfaction from material possessions and financial success. And neither perspective is inherently right or wrong because we are all individuals with different personality traits, values, and life circumstances that significantly impact our relationship with money. Another factor that we need to consider is the role of relative income. It's not just how much money you have, but also how much money you have compared to those around you. In societies where income inequality is high, individuals may feel pressured to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, leading to a perpetual cycle of comparison and dissatisfaction. For example, your 2-bedroom house may have been perfectly adequate for your family's needs, but when you see your neighbors upgrading to larger homes or driving luxury cars, suddenly your own possessions seem lacking. They seem insufficient. The pressure to conform to societal standards of success is simply overwhelming and perpetuates the endless cycle of stress and anxiety about our financial status. And the thing is, this phenomenon isn't limited to material possessions. We often feel pressured to pursue higher paying careers or prestigious positions to maintain social standing, even if it means sacrificing our personal values or passions. Ultimately, this constant comparison to others can erode our sense of self-worth and happiness as we measure our success not by our own standards, but by how we stack up against everybody else. Can you believe that only 4% of people listening to my videos are currently subscribed? 4%. If you're finding this video valuable or have enjoyed any of my other videos in the past, you can do me a big favor by simply subscribing. And while you're there, consider giving the video a like as well. If you don't enjoy the videos, leave a comment with your thoughts. I'd appreciate those too. Thank you ever so much. Now, let's get back to this whole $75,000 debate. According to the latest research, the magic number in terms of whether money can buy happiness isn't $75,000, but a staggering $500,000 annually. That's right, $500,000 a year. It begs the question, how realistic is it for the average person to achieve such a lofty income? For most of us, reaching a $500,000 annual salary is simply unrealistic, if not entirely out of reach. This disparity between the suggested income threshold and the reality faced by many of us raises important concerns. If $500,000 truly is the benchmark for optimal happiness, does this mean that the majority of us are doomed to perpetual sorrow? Should we give up on happiness altogether and resign ourselves to a life of misery? Fortunately, the answer is no. Well, not if you decide to do something about it. While it's true that financial stability can contribute to overall well-being, you simply must not ignore the power you have over your own happiness and well-being. Do not be daunted by these numbers because we are not limited by our bank accounts alone. We are not limited by the factors that are simply out of our control. We're over here doing the most we can with what we have, even as we strive to live out our passion and purpose. We will endeavor to optimize for happiness regardless of income. And that's exactly why you should check out this video, because I dive into the exact steps you should take to optimize for happiness regardless of income.